Utahns for Peter Cooke. Yeah. Good, let me hear you. Good morning. My name is Karen Hale, and I am so happy to be here this morning. What a wonderful day of excitement and hope for all of us throughout the state of Utah. I'm pleased to be here with all of you and stand together to offer our support for Peter Cooke as our next governor of this great state. I think it's appropriate that we are meeting at this time during the legislative session at this spot today, here at the seat of education, here at the foot of these beautiful hills overlooking this wonderful valley, and here at the step of a military post. How timely and how rich. This morning I'm honored to talk about one of the keys to our Democratic gubernatorial win in November. Her name is Heather Nelson Cooke. Our friend Cam Gardner had the vision to introduce Heather and Peter over 22 years ago. Cam, we like your vision. Heather and Peter are the powerhouse duo of our state. In the strong tradition of women like Lucy Beth Rampton and Norma Matheson, Heather has what it takes to be Utah's next First Lady. Heather has a strong sense of self, nurtured while working at the first full-time female photographer at the Salt Lake Tribune. As an undergrad in English here at the University of Utah, Heather worked to establish a literacy program at the state prison, helping inmates earn their GEDs. She received her JD from the University of Utah, and her clerkship with Federal District Judge David K. Winder was transformative, preparing her as a prosecutor and fulfilling her role as Assistant U.S. Attorney. She was a full-time board member of the Utah State Board of Pardons and Parole, and ultimately the executive director of the Utah Sentencing Commission. As children came along for Heather and Peter, Heather immersed herself in their public education, volunteering with the intensity, the skill, and dedication she displayed in her professional life. As a PTA president, and as what I believe is the state's ultimate example of volunteerism, Heather, for the last 14 years, has shared her talents, her interest, her knowledge with students whose success and knowledge are her interest. She has given her children and their classmates invaluable insight into the justice system, into civics, and the value of education. Today, we have in both Peter and Heather a prime example of duty to country and to our state, to community, and to our state's children. I am pleased to introduce to you our choice for the next First Lady of the great state of Utah, Heather Cooke.
Thank you. Thank you so much, our dear friends and family, and Karen, that was a most generous introduction. Karen's a great mentor to me, and I appreciate her dear friendship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've wrestled with which approach that I would use to introduce Peter on this special occasion. I wondered if I should weave the tale of his unusual childhood, going to school all over the world as his father worked for Pan American Airlines, landing finally at Utah State University for college, and soon becoming integrally involved in Utah's happenings? Or should I try to list his many accomplishments in business, military, and the community? I couldn't skim that surface, so you'll just have to read about that on our website. I will add, however, that he is a marvelous cook, and I'm not sure that made it to the website. No pun intended. He is a master chef, just as long as he doesn't try to follow a recipe, but uses his creative intuition. And that really is quite symbolic of his widespread success in his life. I could try to paint a picture of Peter's rare mix of humility and self-confidence. As tough as he can be in a business ethics deal and in defending our liberty, he has no malice. There is no guile. Peter isn't afraid of trying anything. He's not afraid of failing. He's not afraid of looking dumb. Ask his kids. In fact, he's better than anybody I know at laughing at himself. He's usually the one cracking the joke. Maybe I should relate how magically Peter becomes a Pied Piper when he's selling an idea. I have watched him walk unabashed into planning and zoning commission meetings or big stake business negotiations where he knew the crowd waiting for him would be hostile to his proposal. And then I've watched him walk back out an hour or several hours later with people completely on board, expressing their excitement at being part of his plan. I could use my allotted time here to describe how often Peter's optimism leads him to bite off more than anyone thinks he can chew. And then he figures out how to chew it. We're talking complicated, innovative, pioneering approaches that would make an average person pull out their hair or just die of stress. But Peter is a visionary, and he knows how to rally a team like no one you've ever seen. He surrounds himself with experts. He infuses them with confidence in themselves and commitment to the cause, and then he gets out of their way while they execute the vision that he has given them. And voila, you have another Peter Cooke success. Peter Cooke is so custom built to be the governor of Utah at this time that I can't possibly cover his qualifications in just a couple of minutes. So instead, let me list a few of the values that we share that led us to the decision that he should run. A healthy economy, Peter will address that. No one knows it better than he. Education, we have 4 children in the Utah public school system right now. Elizabeth's in 6th grade, Joseph is in 8th, Carolyn is in 11th, and Howard is a senior. I have spent, as Karen said, a great deal of time volunteering in our public schools over the past 14 years. So much time, in fact, that Peter calls it my full-time pro bono job. The result is that Peter and I know firsthand what is and what is not working. And we have a profound interest in the quality of education that all of our children are being provided by this state. Peter and I have always been ardent patrons of the arts in Utah. We love our date night to the ballet or the theater. I've made it my personal PTA mission for over a decade to bring more music into the public schools. Peter and I are passionate about promoting excellence in forms of art, all forms of art in this state. The environment. Our family, like most of yours, is largely defined by our experiences in Utah's incredible natural surroundings. Who doesn't have a picture of their kids under Delicate Arch or at the top of one of our amazing ski slopes? Peter and I are committed to protecting these treasures for the sake of the adventure, serenity, and memories that they have to offer our children and their children if properly preserved. The military. The Cookes will never deny loyalty to Utah's soldiers. In our family, we are constantly mindful that the lifestyle we enjoy in this peaceful refuge of Utah is based on their sacrifices to ensure our freedom and our safety. So there are basically 2 reasons we've decided to step out of our comfortable life and to run for this office. First, we honestly believe that Peter has the right combination of experience, skills, and character to be a uniquely successful governor for Utah. Second, we believe that we can win. And so Peter and I consider it our responsibility to run, to win, and to dedicate our family to the service of this beloved state. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the next governor of the great state of Utah, Peter Stryker Cooke.